All right. Great day, ladies. How are you feeling this Friday morning? How are you feeling?
Feeling great.
Yes.
Yep.
TGIF.
Yes. And it is early. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, though, so I'm really excited, Camille, because I'm gonna take this moment to really get to know you. We have been in the same circles for quite some time, and I do know the one thing I do know is Camille is an early riser. And okay, I know two things. I know that Camille is an early riser, and she must never have bad days because when she rides early, she is full of life, full of energy. Like I love when I can make our 6 a.m. affirmation rooms and you're in there because even if I'm dragging that morning, baby, by after I hear you, I've gotten my life together. So thank you. Welcome. Thank you for saying yes to being on the Point Blank Period podcast. We're so excited to have this conversation. Hello, Christy.
Hello, hello. I'm
So
excited to hear about this journey because I'm a morning person, but that whole bright and sunny, like I'm drinking tea right now. So I gotta hear what that's about. But I definitely want to know like where are you now in business? Can you tell us about like where you are? Like this is your highlight reel. Sing your praises. Tell us
yes.
all about the wonderful things that you're doing right now as a business owner.
Ooh. This is an exciting time for myself. First and foremost, I guess I should say who I am. So I'd
Yeah.
quickly introduce myself. So my name is Camille Jones, and I am the founder of We Got This Mind and Body. And I'm all about encouraging us busy women to prioritize living a more wellness life without all those excessive workouts and fad diets, but truly loving the skin that we are in by embracing our journey and nourishing all of who we are in the now so that we could celebrate better longevity with great health and more energy and of course confidence. And I
Yes.
do that with my wellness community. I'm huge on community because so many of us women have had to do things alone, or we're told that we are strong or bad by ourselves. We got to be bad by ourselves. We could do this independent. Of course we can. But when we have a community, a common unity of women, diverse women from all different walks of life, with all different experiences, but the one thing that makes us whole is the fact that we are women and we can resonate and understand each other without having to know the story or to have the exact same experiences. But we're there to cheer on each other so that we can also pour more into our cup so we can overflow to others. So
Yes.
I'm huge on putting time for myself so that I could pour into others because it is important for me to have that overflow. Because I noticed, a lot of times people were pouring to others, but it was empty. So they weren't
Mhm.
their all. They were not even giving their all. So that's how I even got into wellness. Is it was more than fitness and nutrition. And what's exciting going on with me right now is I've been in this industry now on the online for almost 4 years.
Okay.
And I too was doing it by myself. I had an app, I had one-on-one clients. I loved it. I still have quite a few of my clients, and it was wonderful. But behind the scenes, it was just me. It was just me doing everything, and well as being a woman, as we know, having
Right.
our other obligations. And it was about a year ago that I was introduced to my partner company where we've combined our amazing businesses together. And well, now we have a community of hers and my women together collectively growing. We do this with the meal plans. So what's exciting for me right now is the growth of my wellness community because there's so many times, life has a thing about lifing us. And I
Mhm.
love the fact that now I could just pop into that community and there's somebody that's there that we could just talk, we can encourage each other, we could share a meal plan or two.
Right.
So like I went to the grocery store and I always wanted to do lentil soup, but I'm lazy a little
Mhm.
in
Okay.
the kitchen. I'm gonna be straight up. And then one of the girls like, girl, try this one. And it was a nice, quick, easy one. I mean, that's what I just love. I love the fact that I was just said out straight up. I'm lazy at doing it, but I want to try this other one. I would just mention it and someone just poop popped it in. So that's
Mhm.
what's fun and exciting is to really realize the power and the essence of community, not just in our business, not just when it comes to raising our children, but
Right.
we have to realize that even in our wellness and us as women, it takes a tribe of amazing, diverse women to come together, to pat each other on the back and say, you know what, girl, you got this. You got this. I see you. I hear you.
Mhm.
And really, that's what I love about wellness, is because we really get to get that essence of who we are in a collective.
So I
Absolutely.
love how you said common unity and using that for the community. I love that. So the question I have though is, how do you monetize that? Like, how did you turn your love for wellness, your love or seeing the need for a community? Because I hear so many women who have this love for something and they want to help the women and they don't know how to turn that love into actually money in their pockets, so that they can continue doing it without being stressed. Because like we love the idea of just giving, 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 but giving doesn't always pay the bills. So how did you monetize this love and turn it into like a thriving business?
Yeah, so you know what? You are absolutely correct. And I'm so glad that you're asking this question, because we have to be straight up with each other. Can't beat around the bush and say, oh, I did it and it was easy, ABC, 1, 2, 3. Because I'm going to tell you right now that is a facade, and we are just setting ourselves up to say that we're failures at something that wasn't even actual foundation, right? So
Mhm.
as I said before, I was doing this alone. I do have a Facebook group that is open to everybody, and I was trying to figure out, how can I make this into something that I can monetize? I couldn't figure it out. I did, but the thing about me is, even though I couldn't figure it out, I didn't wait to figure it out to start. I'm
Right.
all about starting, right? You don't have to be perfect to start. You just got to start, and I'll learn
I
along the
love
way.
that.
Well, really quick though. So within the community that you had by yourself, what were you offering? Like what were you what type of things were you offering that particular community?
Yeah, so that community, what I'd offer wellness tips. I also had workouts in there. I still have it there. So I do it Wednesday morning workouts. I
Okay.
had uh, any type of conversation. Like I had my ebook too as well, which is my self-care ebook. I
Mhm.
also stream a lot of my talks that I do on LinkedIn,
Okay.
on on Facebook. So I love these StreamYard things because I love to attach my stuff to it, so
Right.
that we are not, for two reasons. I am always a huge believer on women connecting with women. So what
Mhm.
I love to have women have opportunities to have a platform. So with that being said, is yes, I had my wellness and I was doing my wellness stuff too. But also my Facebook group was open for me to be able to showcase other women and their talent. And I know people say, why are you going to do that? Why are you showcasing other people in your community or in your group? Because I'm giving value. I'm
Right.
giving value. And at the end
Right.
of the day, 8 billion people in this entire world. And I don't know about y'all, but I could barely handle the five that are in my house. So I don't want 8 billion people. So there's
Right.
a pie for everybody. I don't see the competition there. What I
Mhm.
see is value. Because if I have a meeting with Christy, let's say a conversation about what you do, it could be even in the same industry.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Somebody like Tamisha sees it and says, you know
Mhm.
what? I never knew I needed Christy, but I see something that I can get from her. I'm so grateful that on Camille's page. She gives so much value, even more than workouts. I got to still continue to come here to see who else she brings.
Right.
People like value added services, and it's not even costing them, right? So that was the first
Hmm.
step. And
And it
then
seems like you have like a good time doing it though.
I
So
was
it's
going to say, you just took the words out of my mouth.
and the reason why I see that, like you've made your lifestyle, you know how they say like lifestyle businesses, like this is it's just an extension of your life. This is what you already do. That's what I get from you when I hear you in any room, and anything that I'm saying. It's just an extension. You just coming on to talk about your day.
The only thing. So yes, you know what? God bless you and thank you, because you definitely you validated that you see me. And why I
Mhm.
say that is because you're always gonna get Camille. How I be is me, and how I be, I can't be anybody else but me, and that's how I be. So
Mhm.
what I mean by that is sometimes I'll talk and have a great conversation, and in between that conversation, I may speak with Trinidadian. I
Mhm.
may, do a little twirl, right? My whole thing
I
is
was gonna say twerk. I was like, come on,
I
Camille.
almost but I wasn't setting up, but there may possibly be one because I'm a carnival baby, so we just like to whine and see. You see what I'm saying? We like to carry on. But yes, what my whole thing is I don't try to be anything else but me, because for so many years in my past, that's what I was. I had that
Hmm.
mask on my face. I was talking, walking, and trying to fit in what I thought was the norm around me. And when, in turn, what did that cause? I had so much mental health. I was diagnosed with clinical depression. I'd have high anxiety, all because everyone saw me da 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 Camille on the outside because that's what they assumed I should be. But
Mhm.
anytime
Mm-hmm.
I try to say, everybody, listen to me, I'm hurting. This is what's happening. Oh, Camille, you're silly. You're fine. Be quiet. You know, go sit down. Go drink some tea. You have nothing to complain about or worry
Go
about.
drink some tea.
Yeah,
Right.
drink some tea. Go, you know, put some Vicks on your chest. Even though you're talking about life, but Vicks saves. I mean, serves everything. I don't get it. But you know, our parents, especially I grew up in a Caribbean household in the '90s, where it wasn't, you know, mental health or even having a discussion about life was a
Mm-hmm.
thing, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I always have that platform for people, especially women. I'm huge. I actually have a talk called because I have a voice. So I will
Mm.
always give a person a platform and their voice a microphone. So that's a part of me.
Okay, so given your background, so it wasn't about talking about life, it was more about go get them herbs, go get that tea, you'll be okay. How did you like how did you get to the point where you can say, okay, you know what? It's something more than that. I need to be able to seek. Did you seek out somebody? Did you like run into like how where did that turn come into play?
Yes. So there's a whole backstory of like my adolescence of mental health. Because my parents, I'm a huge parents girl, and they went through a really a bad breakup. But because of that breakup, I decided I didn't want my parents to be upset anymore at each other. So I took and without them knowing at
Mhm.
12,
Mm-hmm.
13, I took on their burden. I have a sister that's 10 years younger than me. I automatically, my mom had to work 2 jobs. I always was the babysitter, no problem. My dad needed something, no problem. I
Mhm.
never asked
I
my
think we do
parents.
that as women. Like we take on this extra thing as women, as girls, like you're right.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. That's why I have a love for us women because there's a reason why it's called Mother Nature because we are nurturers by nature. And it comes out even as children. We see when the girls have their little dolls, right? So the
Mhm.
same thing happened with me. I was taking on everything to the point where, and I was hiding it because I didn't want my parents to be upset or sad anymore. And
Mhm.
I never asked them. My parents never had to worry about me asking them for Jordans or anything. I would work
I
at the
think we
Boys and
share that.
yeah, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, all these stuff. So I would mask a lot of what was happening with me being all quirky until grade 11 when I came to school one day and I was this thin. And it was because not because I had a body image. It was because I was in such a depression that I had so much energy outside that as soon as I went inside, I'd fall asleep and I'd forget to eat. And it was until one of the teachers at school was like, Camille, let's have a conversation. And then I broke down. And
Mhm.
it was the best thing that ever happened to me because my voice was heard. And that was through my counselor. It was amazing. Miss Brown got me into a lot of like child therapists and ones that were black too as well because we have different traumas, even in Canada, even being Caribbean. So she did a lot of that stuff. So it made it more self awareness. But this is the '90s. They automatically put me on medication and that
Mhm.
medication
Mm-hmm.
for me, I was only 16 years old. And that
Mm-hmm.
medication, if I missed one med pill, I'd have panic attacks.
Mhm.
I was on it for 4 years. And it was until I went to, I it was in last year of, no, it wasn't the first year of college, actually. I went to the mental health hospital as a group trip because I was doing social studies
Okay.
and met an individual there who said to me, "You have he goes, it was just so random. You know, some people have really beautiful minds, but they're labeled as schizophrenic or bipolar. They just have their mind just goes off even more than the regular balance. So the gentleman, he said to me, he goes, I see you have your highs and lows, but you have a beautiful angel in you, and you could take control of that angel. You have power over your mind. Don't be like me. Don't give your power away. Be an advocate." And I
Mm-hmm.
remember saying this over and over and over again. And then that was the day I decided to not be silent anymore. I took off my mask at 20 years old, 20, 21
Okay.
years old. And I took off my mask and said, "Hi, my name is Camille, and I have anxiety. Hi, my name is Camille. And what you do say to me sometimes hurts me." And I
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
started talking about that. And
Mhm.
it was through me talking, I started to get my empowerment and my power back. And
Mhm.
I realized that people did want to hear. And you also, other people are like, is that what I'm feeling too? So
Right.
that's, it came at such a great time because in the 2000s here in Canada, they really started doing campaigns on mental health because it was becoming a pandemic,
Right. Yeah.
epidemic,
That,
epidemic here.
right.
And that's when I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to wean myself off of this medication because I knew, I'm not saying medication is bad because some people do need it, but I knew myself I didn't need it because I would feel very lethargic. I wasn't Camille. That's not who I wanted to be. It didn't, it suppressed me as opposed to
Hmm.
anxiety, right?
Right.
Because you guys were getting anxiety about me not being me. So I slowly weaned myself off over a year with the assistance of a guidance counselor as well as a coach. And that was in my 20s, 21, 22. And I was off of it for many years. I've been great
Nice.
till the
Nice.
pandemic happened.
Uh-oh. Okay.
This is where my business came from,
Okay.
was the pandemic. My mom went through a huge mental, she was in a catatonic state where she went into what I call an awake a coma in 2018. And I used to say to my mom, you got this, you got this, we got this, we got this. I promise, as soon as you get out of this coma, I always say as soon, because the doctors would tell me that she wasn't going to wake up. I said, when
Hmm.
you wake up, I'm gonna always forever take care of my body, and I'm never gonna take for granted food. Because when I sat at the hospital, I'm like, oh, at any moment I could be at the hospital, I'm gonna eat that burger because I could be eating that liquid next thing. But I'm obviously gonna do it with intention, like I
Right.
mean, within reason. So that's where that name "We Got This" came from. And then I always used to say when my mom got out of it, "See, mom, we got this, we got this." So that used to be our little chant. And then the pandemic happened the year after. And here in Canada, we were locked in for 3 years. We didn't have, like, literally, I think we were the second worst in the world
Chrissy,
for lockdowns.
yeah, we got back outside in like 6 months, right? In
Oh,
Georgia.
6 months.
Right.
I
No,
was, I was,
Atlanta, Georgia opened back up. They were like, "Nah, we're not doing this."
I know, like, everywhere that, like, I'm not gonna lie, I had to escape Canada. So just give me 1 second here.
Children, gotta love it.
I know
So that's the
we talking
I
about.
wanted to talk about that just for a second because most of the people watching this are going to be American, and you were saying that your kids get a teacher was like work day every 3 weeks.
It's ridiculous. PA days. So, ladies, again, we need to have another podcast to debrief on this ridiculousness on these kids getting so much nowadays. Because last time I checked, when I was in school, and I went to school in Canada, we call them PA days. So out of the 10 months, we may have gotten 3 PA
Yeah.
days.
Mhm.
Them children here right now, every 3 weeks. I don't understand. I'm confused. They're always home. Why are you
They're
home?
tired. They need a break.
I no. I just nobody told me. I thought that when I have kids, I can also, I love them, but I need to miss them so I can love them more. Right? Isn't that what's supposed to happen?
I love the realness of it, but I just wanted everybody to understand like American moms, and we're complaining that we have weeks because we do have to get weeks off. Like they have the fall break and the winter break, and I'm a former elementary assistant principal, so the days in school are still the same. It's still in America. It's still the same. It's just they break it up differently, so they give you weeks off at a time, and so it's a winter break, a fall break, in top of the spring break that we've always remember growing up, and they've shortened the Christmas. I'm not Christmas, but the summertime break. They've shortened it and given more breaks throughout the school year. That's how it works here. But parents don't see it that way. They're like, "Why are you going again?"
Now that you're saying that too, I forgot to mention the kids get like 3 weeks off at Christmas. They get March break. They got spring break. We got all those too, and those PA days. That's what I'm saying. My kids are always
Yeah.
home.
Right.
Home. We just
But
got off.
and this is a side note though, one of the things that I have heard about Canada that I love is that the fact that it seems like they're really like women focused. Like you guys, when you have your kids, from what I heard, you can let me know if it's true. That like you have extended maternity leave. That's that
Yes.
yeah, I mean
So
like a year. I mean, what is it?
yeah, I was so surprised. I had no idea. I thought it was the norm until my cousin was pregnant with me, and she lives in Atlanta. And she's like, "Girl, I am so glad that my insurance is." And she's getting a cesarean. I get 4 months. I was like, "Huh? What you say about here right now? You got 4 months? That baby just was born. What do you mean you have to give the baby to a daycare at that age?" In Canada, we automatically get 1 year off.
Yeah, yeah.
If
That's
you're
nice.
if you're working at least 6 months, so 180 days, you will get some benefits. Some companies will match your full pay for at least 6 months, some 10 months, and then you go on EI from the government, but you still get at least, I think like 40% of your pay. And they do that
Yeah.
because for a few reasons. For one, they realize that the child still needs to be with the mom, especially for the breastfeeding and stuff and all that great stuff. But
Mhm.
two, it actually does save the government more money because they don't have to open up as many daycares. They don't
Oh,
have as many of these other extensions, right? And then it
Mhm.
also less excuses for women to say, "Oh, I can't come into work today because such and such this newborn baby." So they're giving you a year. You got a year to get your life together, baby. That's what they're
so
saying.
Mhm.
All
And
right.
then they
So,
you're
said, and then every 3 weeks, since you was with them for a year, we're gonna send them back home.
oh yeah. And by the way, right?
So look, Camille. So okay, so we're in the pandemic. You birthed your business. You go through that period of running it by yourself. Now, the key, I think that what I really wanted to bring out for this is because then you found a way to partner with another woman who had
Yes,
a merge. Because in our society, I don't know how it is in Canada, but in our society, partnerships and people think that, you're going to get burned and, they just never work or they work into a certain period. Like, how were you both able to bring your businesses together? Like, talk us through what that process looked like and how's it going? And like, where do you see the future? Just all the things.
for sure. So first and foremost, I always say that we have to take away any limiting beliefs on other people's opinions or other people's experiences with partnerships or even your past partnerships. You have to really have that clarity and that common interest. And to be honest with you, everything that we do, it is taking a form of risk. It doesn't necessarily mean it will always work out the way it is working out for myself. So what I
Mhm.
had done so I can mitigate that is no, in the field that I am in, I get approached all the time by diverse wellness companies to partner with them. I
Mhm.
use
Mhm.
myself as a guinea pig. I always use myself as a guinea pig. I try out products or services for at least 3 months. If
Okay.
I'm not driving with it, if my vibe is not vibing with it, or I'm not enjoying the products, you would have never known I tried it because I would never introduce it to you. So
Mhm.
with this company here, I tried them out. At first, I was resistant because in order for me to be partnered with this company, I don't have my app anymore, right? Because I'm going to be using some of their workouts, their meal plans, all that stuff. And at first I was like, being defensive, like, hey, that's my.
Right.
Until I did the program myself. And I fell in love not only with the program, but the community that I was introduced to with this
Mhm.
program.
Okay.
And I became that avatar initially. Before I ever brought it out, I did it myself. And I fell in love with it. We just resonated. It grew over months. And that was the time I said, you know what? Why am I doing this alone? I am getting even more results, having more exhale moments in
Right.
this community. And I'm having the opportunity to merge mine. Camille, baby, you love yourself, right? So give yourself that grace and do this.
Mhm.
So I bet on myself. And I did this merge and I absolutely love it. My customers, my clients, I don't even, it's so weird to call them clients and customers because they're all my sisters now. So
Mhm.
my peeps, that's why I usually call them my peeps. They all fell in love with it. And this is why I'm so excited about where I am right now because I'm not doing it alone. It's not expensive because with my app, it costs a lot to have an app, ladies and gents,
Mhm.
right? To have it both on Apple and Google Play and all that kind of great stuff. It costs money, right? And I had to charge something so I could get a little bit of profit, but it
Right.
was a
Right.
lot. With my partnership company, now it's I have to say it is crazy cheap for what you get.
Mhm.
And how you're talking about with the monetize, let's go reel it back to what you're talking about there. How I
Mhm.
monetize now from my Facebook groups and my community is through my partnership. So now my Facebook book, a group that I already have that has 364 people, that is who I funnel to, right?
Mhm.
So I'll sometimes put some advertising on my community. I'll even post things that my community is doing too. So some people be like, "What is this? I wonder what this is," and people start asking, right? So that puts more eyes on my community. So now, because of that, and because I'm partnering with another large partnership, I'll just tell you who it is. It's with Beachbody, right? So because I
Oh, okay.
partnered up with Beachbody, yeah, because I partnered up with them, they pay me. So it
Mm-hmm.
comes through the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's and again, because of that, it's a lot less. It is easier to track and to measure, to analyze, as
Right.
well as it is a greater community where I'm not doing all of the work by myself. I have my other two personal trainers in there. I have my nutritionist in there. I do all of that too, but it's tiring at times. It's great when we do it collectively. And the reason why I chose Beachbody, and I'll tell you this, and I'll be straight up with y'all,
Mm-hmm.
is when I first was approached by this, I said to them, y'all look too blonde and white and tight for me. It's very. I
Same.
know you. I said it to them straight up. I said, "I know you guys have that P90X and Insanity and all that stuff, and that looks crazy to me too." And then, and then you know what I loved is when my partner said, "You know what, Camille, you just revealed my privilege, and I thank you for that. It wasn't until you said that to me that I noticed, and you are absolutely correct. This is I see exactly what you're saying, and it needs to change." And I said, "Oh, the reason why I know it needs to change is because I've done your product. I've done the programs, right? The programs is one thing, but then our community is separate. We
Right.
combine them together, right? So I've done the programs, and now I have this community that's collectively working together. And I feel like as if my Black women are getting gypped on amazingness. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why we're getting gypped is because I'll be honest with you, if I don't see something that I can resonate,
We don't see ourselves.
yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the other side. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even, I'm going to go to the wayside and not even take note of what you have to offer. And that's
Mm-hmm.
doing my community a disservice.
Right.
So I am on a mission. And this, when I said that to them, they recognized it, they acknowledged it, and they said to me, Camille, you know what? We've been watching you on your Facebook Live. That's so important. Do lives even on Facebook because you never know
Right.
who's watching, and they've been watching me there and on LinkedIn, and they do want to start using my voice and my what I have to offer
Opportunities. Yes.
for diversity. They want to do a lot more diversity, inclusion. I know some people be like, oh, what? Why are they going to you? Why did they go to Mary or what have you? I'm like, because Mary didn't bring it up. Some
Mm-hmm.
people I need to
Right.
realize that's because some people be like, oh, they brought the Black girl to do that. I said, no, they didn't. I brought that to them.
Mm-hmm.
So before you start judging or labeling what we're doing right now, come join us and see how wonderful and beautiful you become when you get a deeper sense of self, of love and discipline in yourself. Because that's what wellness is. And that's what I love about what I do is because, yes, I get to run a business that allows me to talk. The one thing that I used to be told to be silent all the time about is my superpower. I get to feel great, work into myself. I'm so disciplined with myself that my kids don't drive me as crazy as they used to because I love me too much to make me go to the madhouse. I
Mm-hmm.
Right.
also love myself so much and my wellness that I'm aware of my erroneous zones. And if you know what those are your procrastination, that guilt, that lack of forgiveness, that imposter syndrome, that my anxiety. Now when I feel any type of anxiousness, I'm like, Camille, that's the same feeling you feel when you feel great. So get into that feeling of feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
Wellness got me connected with my being side. We're human beings. So many of us are so focused on the human side of us,
Human
thinking
side.
wellness, but the biggest part of us is that being, that
Mm-hmm.
inner self. It's all about loving from the inside out. And that's what love in the skin that you're in is about. It's not about keeping up with the social media Joneses. It's not about trying to be like when we were 20. And it's not about to say, oh, I don't really care about, I mean, I love me so much, I'm gonna eat whatever I want, that this body, like, freedom of that. It's not that. It's about having a rose that you love so much, which is your temple. You're going to pour water into it. You may sing to it. You put to give it adequate sunlight because you want to see it bloom. And that's what we need to do for ourselves. We got to pour into ourselves. We got to nourish ourselves with food that is mindful for our body diversity. We got to take away those BMIs and celebrate where our body's gotten that to us so that we can love and bloom. Because I don't know about y'all. When people say to me, "Oh, I don't like my this, I don't like that," I'm like, "But then how are we going to work on it if you don't like it?" Because I don't know about y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to work on anything I don't like. So love
Mm-hmm.
first. Love where your body's gotten you. Love the fact that my stretch marks I used to be so shy about, I birthed 3 healthy babies. God bless me. These are my rewards. This is my honor. Now I'll show it and I love it. So these are the things that I teach. So I could go on and on and on because this is my passion. So
But
take the mic, ladies.
no, I was going to say the reason why you'll never have to sell a day in your life is your passion. And I feel
Yeah.
like everybody who's listening to this right now needs to understand, like, you embody what it really means to show up as your authentic self, and then everything else is going to take place. Like, I understand, you're running the business and all that, but literally you're bringing people to your tribe because of the vibrancy of what you come to give.
which,
So that
which is the
is,
value added. That's the value
yeah.
added. The one thing she said is that she has grown. The number one thing, or not number one as in the most important, but just the one first thing listed was the adding value or value added. And you've just added value during this conversation just by talking from what is near and dear to your heart. So it's very clear, I think, for anybody who's listening, like, how do I grow my passion into something that I can actually monetize, is to add value. And to me, it's very clear to anybody, if you're doing it for the money, if you're doing it for the passion, just by the way that you show up, people can see realness. They can
Listen,
see that you really believe in it, you really mean it, that you made a good choice, went into it with your heartstrings, like, this has to be good, not just for me, but for the people who I would share it with. And that's very clear through this conversation. And so I think it's important for our listeners to, and we sometimes feel like that it's over. I'm very definitely learned you have to over add value. So if you want them to pay $100, then you should be giving value that equals 10 times that. Like, they should be feeling like they're getting $1,000 worth of value for $100. Like, oh, this is a deal. She should really be charging me more than this for all that she's given. So that they are handing over the 100. Or if you want them to pay 5,000, then you want to give them $10,000 worth of value so that they feel like, oh my gosh, she really should be charging more. Let me go ahead
Right,
and give this 5,000.
right,
yes. And the biggest thing too is, remember, when you are pouring into your existing clients, they're going to speak more. They're going to be your marketing billboards. And a warm referral is so much better than, marketing it out one. So we
yeah.
want, a lot of people are always chasing the new business and forgetting about nurturing their existing business. But we got to
So
think
true.
about box companies. Think about even Walmart and all these companies or what have you. When you have a Walmart, I don't know, you guys have the Visa cards, and yes, so you see, you'll get Walmart points. You get
Mhm.
all these kind of little perks. It's still a Visa, right? So we still need to give out that. We still need to nourish our current clients, because our current clients now, they have this Walmart Visa with points. Oh my gosh, Walmart, I love you, Sandy girl. Do you know I got
Right,
$10
Right.
off Walmart?
right, look, right.
Like, you always in Walmart. Why don't you have the card?
No, but I don't know how much times I've advertised for free Walmart stuff. Just think about big
Right.
box. Look at the coupons you get in the mail. They're not doing that because they love you. Of course
Right.
they love
Right.
you, but they want you to come back and refer others. Here's a coupon. You got more people coming in, and oh my gosh, thank you.
Mhm.
People like that too as well. But even more so, yes, that is the business science behind it. But when you get back into the being side of it, that's where I live,
Mhm.
right? This is where I live. And it's because the reason why I'm so authentic with it and the passion where it comes from is because I was her. Everything that I'm doing, I'm not only doing beside you, we do it together.
Right.
I also understand. People sometimes be like to me, say to me, Camille, you don't know what it feels like to have this weight. You're already thin and all this kind of stuff. I said, oh, you know what? You are correct. I may not have had that weight on the external, but I
Mhm.
had so much weight internally.
On the good point.
Right. It was holding me down so much that it didn't matter what my aesthetics looked like.
Right.
So went through that journey. Just like when you talked about how do I get up early now, early o'clock in the morning, I disciplined myself by challenging myself and giving my own self accountability by doing a 5 a.m. audible book listen every morning
Mhm.
on LinkedIn. The first 2-3 weeks was horrendous. I'd splash water in my face. I would, do some kind of like chant dances, cry in the mirror, say, why did I do this to myself? But
Right.
I did that because I said, Camille, you need to be more disciplined in your business. How are you going to be more disciplined in your business? Camille, how are you going to be more disciplined in your business? It starts with you. Be disciplined with yourself. What can you do in your own personal life that could discipline you to get you to that next level? Wake up early. So I challenge myself, and I always tell people, even when it comes to wellness, the first little bit, it's a learning habit. So you're going to go through your highs and lows. But this time, when I did that discipline, even with myself, instead of me just reading a book myself, I put it online to hold me accountable.
Yes.
That's where I held my accountability because all of a sudden people started coming. So the days that I was like, I'm just gonna sleep in, I couldn't because people were waiting for me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I held myself accountable, and that's why I said there were sometimes I would be behind the scenes, I'm crying, like, why am I doing this to myself? And also,
Right.
it started as I kept on going, habit stacking. Uh,
Oh,
it
that's
started.
so talk a little bit about that. Because actually one of my questions to you, one of my, I guess my final questions was going to be, how do you stay so consistent? Because I do see you online and you consistently show up, like you never miss a beat in my mind.
Mhm.
But you've already answered that with the discipline. But talk about habit stacking, and then you can really, or I'll throw it over to Christy. But I think at that point you can really just kind of wrap it up as to what your last thoughts want to be to the community. And but yeah, I definitely, when you said habit stacking, I want to make sure that everybody is understanding what that means.
Yes, first and foremost, if you have not read the Atomic Habits book, it is a
Yeah.
huge book that you must read because that's
Right.
where the habit stacking comes from. But it also
Yep.
is in the 5 a.m. club too. Every book that I've read has a form of habit. They just name it something else. And
Something else. Exactly.
what I love about the habit stacking is we all have habits that we don't even realize that we have. For instance, next time you put on your shoe, just put on your shoe and then stop and think, what foot did you put it on? The next time, try to put it on the other foot. But you've realized you have to think about it. These are because we're habitual human humans, I should say. Where we'll go keep on going to the same side. And then when we tell someone right away to start changing it, they may be aware a few times, but if it's too fast of a change, they're going to go back to their old habit. So when it
Mhm.
comes to habit stacking, it is a gradual progression to the next step of a habit. And that's what I do with my business, with all my programs. I don't just throw people in full throttle into workouts and all these crazy diets because I don't know about y'all, but when I've done that before and I end up being like a tin woman, the next day I'm not going back. Or
Mhm. Oof.
if it's kale,
It's the hardest thing to go back the next day. Well, okay, maybe I think it's the second day because it feels like you're yeah, it's the hardest thing to go back.
exactly, especially when you had extensive workout and you haven't done it in a while. So now what I've done is I habit stack. So I ask my ladies a lot every week, how many days are you committed to this week? And I will give them little passes depending on how early they are in the program. Right? If you haven't worked out in 20 years, I'm not going to expect you to do 4 workouts, bam, 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 bam. But I want you to commit. Tell me the time, the date, and commit to it. And no, I'll be right there to say, hey, did you do it? Let me see your sweat pic. And also, we do a live. I want to see you at least once
Mhm.
there. And it's hat. So then when they start doing that, oh my gosh, I got one done. I could do two.
Mhm.
Slowly
Mhm.
grab. And even if they're not at that level, I even have ones that's just doing squats. Start off with 10 squats a day. The next day, do 11. All of a sudden, you're going to do 11. Say, girl, I could do 15. Something about our
Yeah.
subconscious. We start to, when we find something easy, because our brain likes easy.
Mhm.
And if we understand the whole thing about challenges, about pushing ourselves outside of the comfort zone, once it becomes easy and you're getting used to it, I can do two more. There you go. You're subconsciously pushing yourself to that next level. That's that habit changing. So you're stacking. You're still not doing it full throttle because you're not used to that. So you're gradually stacking on the new habit of getting it done.
So this is why I've tried, right? Have you heard of 60? Wait, is it 60? No, 75 hard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be something like that's a pre 75 hard.
Yes. I know. I God bless you all that have done that.
Well, I have never gotten all the way through it though.
Yeah.
So it's because you have to work out twice a day. One of the workouts have to be outside. You have to read for like I think it's 10 minutes or 10 pages. You have now the one thing I do like about the program is that you can pick your own diet or pick your own way of eating. It's not even necessarily a diet, but you have to pick a way and stick to that way for 75 days. And then it may be something else, right? But it's something about I feel like doing it all at one time gets it. But to your point, the habit stacking, I can see if maybe they say, okay, well, for the first 5 days, you're going to do, just make sure you do 5 days of one exercise outside, and then add on this, and then add, like I
Yeah.
can see and I'm going to try that with myself because I can see that working with me versus having this list of 5 to 6 things that I have to do that I don't normally do. for 75 days. I mean, I can get to like maybe day 10 or 15. I'm like, oh, okay, I have. And then the whole thing with that program is once you miss a day, you start over. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
it's not like you just pick up and keep going. No, you start over.
Mhm.
So I've never made it, but I like I've read both of the books, but I never necessarily thought about how I was gonna use it in the wellness side of life. So this just brought it back to me that I need to, because I do like the wellness side of me. I need to stop relying on so much coffee and just not getting the rest that I need. I need to get back into a healthy way of living. But it's gonna have to start with habit stacking. I know.
Yeah. Just pick where I've done it with the atomic habits and for the wellness part. So the one thing I did was like we brush our teeth. One thing you're gonna do is wake up and brush your teeth. Everybody in there, however your routine works, everybody has a place in their routine where you brush your teeth. Some people jump out the shower, brush your teeth. Some people is wake up, go straight, like somewhere in your morning habit, you have a place where you brush your teeth, right? And so what I do, I have an electric toothbrush. And instead of just standing there, just brushing my teeth, like I'm literally just standing there. Or some mornings I would sit down on the tub, on the side of the tub and brush my teeth because I was so tired. I'm like, I can't even stand up to do this. And so a habit that I want to do was working out. So now I do squats and lunges when I brush my teeth. I know how many squats I can get in because the toothbrush is 2 minutes. So it's 30 seconds per like top row,
Oh,
bottom row, 30 seconds inside. It's 30
yeah.
seconds per top. I know how many squats I can get in per 30 seconds. And I try to beat that. And I know how many squats, I know how many lunges. And my lunges, so the length of my bathroom is 3 lunges from the wall to the door, 3 lunges back from the door to the wall. So I know
That's dope.
I can get in. I know how I can get in. But that is my way because the one thing I wanted to work on was my legs and my butt.
Mhm.
I'm 40 and it ain't standing like it used to. And
Mhm.
so
You're
I was
41.
like that. I can attack 41. Yes. I can. So my husband says he's no longer giving defining. He's just in his 40s.
Oh,
From
that
40 to
I love
49,
that.
he's just in his 40s. So I think I might take him up on that. I'll be in
Yeah.
my 40s and y'all can decide which 40 it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I love that.
that really works for me because it's something I always do. I always brush my teeth and I didn't have to worry about, you know, focusing on the coordination of squatting and brushing because the toothbrush is going to do it itself. Like it's
Right.
a automatic one, so it's going to brush you. I just got to move it back and forth, and
Right.
that's an example of because I feel like a 75 hard can work for you if you take those things and attach it to something. So I did 75 hard. It wasn't related to. We adapted it for our business that we're in, and one thing was reading 10 minutes. So what I do is I got into bed at night, and then before I went to I make so you got to put things in place. I had to make sure I had a little lamp by my bed because the overhead light needed to be off so hubby could still go to sleep and it wouldn't bother him. But every night I read 10 days. And the thing about the 75 days, if whatever you pick, if it's just one thing, if you do that for 75 days, it becomes a lifestyle. It's a habit now.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I can't go to sleep unless I do read. Like, and I know it's mental. I know it's mental. Like I'm mentally telling myself I got to read to bring myself down, but I feel like I sleep so much better because I read these 10 pages and that brings my mind out of all the day things. And now I'm ready to go to sleep. Because what do most people do? Fall asleep when they're reading? Well, it works perfect.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
awesome. So that's awesome. So I learned about 75 hard from my ladies in Atlanta. Actually, I don't. It's not a popular program up here in Canada,
Mhm.
and it's interesting to me. And I'd say kudos to everybody that does it. But for me, it's not realistic because what
Mhm.
happens on day 80? What day 90? And yes, we're talking about it builds up habits, but when we're doing so much at one time and excessive, like
Mhm.
75
Yeah,
hard is it's not like you're not going to do these type of workouts on a regular or consistent,
basis.
even if
Yeah,
as soon as 75 times, like, especially if you had to
that's
rewind it.
sober.
It's not realistic. And
Mhm.
that's why people like, I've done 75 hard 3 times. Why? Why? It's not, it must not be, you know what I mean? So I like the whole theory behind it because that's what I do, but I call it simple habits, big results.
Mhm.
We have something that's growth day. It's 10 minutes of I'm all about mindset. You listen to it for 10 minutes, you get inspired for the day, you carry on, right? If
Mhm.
you say, as I said, the workouts is on a gradual basis because we're not trying to get you uh, to be this muscle woman at 75 days. I'm trying to get you to that at 75 years old.
That's dope.
I
Right.
care about you years from now, not just in the moment. And that's
Right.
what a lot of these programs do, is that they focus on the moment. as opposed to the actual longevity of it. And so right now I have a program that's called, again, Simple Habits, Big Results. And it's all about everything that's your mindset. It's a simple mindset, simple nutrition, simple movement, daily accountability. And we do it together because this is a lifestyle. It never ends. But let's incorporate it into your everyday programming, just like Chrissy has done with her lunges and with her squats. It becomes a part of us once we start making it into our routine that is real.
Yes,
You know what
makes
I mean?
sense.
Where that can you can do. So this is why I get excited about my community and my program. Is just because we're changing lives, because we're changing lifestyles. We're not trying to. Of course, you could do 75 hard and then get the hard abs stuff right away. But are we going to keep it? Is it going to be maintained? And
Right.
are the workouts that you're doing good for your own body? Because remember,
Right.
when work out, we're putting stress on our body. And whenever we have stress in our body, that cortisol hormone, especially with us women, it goes in our stomach. That's where we get the inflammation. And when we have inflammation in our gut, that's when we get depressed because this is our second brain. So we need to understand that we want to put stress on our body, but not over excessive stress. Stress, yes, so that we can get the afterburn, so that we're still burning calories even when we're sitting at our desk, but not to the extent where you're overburning yourself, where your body's taking a lot longer time to recover. Because what's going to happen is inflammation is going to start to appear, and that's why a lot of people have to have anti-inflammatories when they're overly working out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
About a lifestyle. My whole program and what I'm about is a lifestyle because I am all about living for a long time, but I want to be able to move my body while I'm doing. I'm a carnival baby. I still have to play in my costumes and stuff and be able to go down the road. So I need
Yes.
to be able to walk and
Mm-hmm.
have that energy, right? And that's what it's all about. It's really that longevity and incorporating it into. And I love, Chrissy, how you put it into your brushing your teeth because you're still getting it done. You're still moving that body,
Right.
right? So I'm all about that. It's simple. Simple habits, big results,
Love
and
it.
it starts with taking action. The simple habits is how you build up the discipline to build to get the lasting results. And when you have a guide, so what we do is everything that you need is right there, so you're not guessing. I always say, so
Mm-hmm.
many people are like, oh, I'm going to go get a gym membership. Sure, go get a gym membership. When I used to work at the gym, I used to see the same people using the same equipment, the elliptical or the treadmill. I'm like, and I'm saying that because when it comes to cardio, we should not be doing so much cardio, especially in our 40s. I like to call it I level up. I'm on level 42, going to level 43. Power up, poof. That's how I call my age now. Like Mario Brothers. I'm leveling up. Remember, it's good to level up. Yes, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I
Absolutely.
talk my age, but it really is about us really incorporating what our lifestyle is as we level up in age because it's going to change. Our hormones are going to change, our needs are going to change, but the self-awareness, when you have it, you're going to be aware of when that change needs to take place. And
Yeah.
that's what we
I
see. That's
love
what
it.
I love.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all are
So many
interested,
amazing points. I'm gonna go back. I took some notes while I was here, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back. It's like Star. Go back to that point. I gotta listen to that again. Some really good. I like. I've never talked of it that way. I talk about atomic habits all the time and how it's added. Anytime I want to add a new habit, I look at where in my life something I already do that I can fit it to. Like I have a Tuesday tea where I read books, and I've been consistently doing that and adding value. And there's other things I want to do. And I was like, well, how can I add? I already do this. How can I add to this? Or I know at the end of that, I'm going to be sitting here in front of my camera and I'm going to have makeup on because I only put makeup on when it's podcast day, when it's Tuesday tea day. So
Right.
how can I use this directly when it's done? What can I do for content with this makeup day that I have? And
Mm-hmm.
so this is habit stacking. And I'm really going to start using that phrase more often because I talk about atomic habits all the time. That book was a game changer for me. So I love it when other people bring it up. But this was really good. I love your passion, and by the end of this, you really got me ready to join your community. So
I'm waiting for you all. It's and right now I'm just gonna put my little shameless plug. I have a $40 discount that's available right up until next week. So definitely for that, that's the annual, and I'll tell you right now how much it is because it's mind boggling of what we give for that amount. So
Right.
it is $223 annually with my discount to be a
Right.
part of my community. And then it comes with a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to go for that part. But you get a community, you get a whole bunch of package with you. You get me, you get
Yeah.
workouts, nutrition, meal plans. We got our Shakeology, And then every month, it's either if you want to get a more shake or or protein bars, that most that you pay is $120 a month, which is, again, you still get the community meal plans, your workouts, you have a nutritionist on hand, a personal trainer. When you go to a gym, what do? You get the aesthetics worked out on. They don't
Right.
give you the meal plan. They don't give you that community. They don't give you that accountability or support or even wellness complementing products. And the best thing about it is that this is something that you can do it. I always say to people, give me 6 to 8 weeks. Just give me 2 months. And if
Mhm.
you don't love it, I still love you and I appreciate you and I thank you for challenging yourself and
Right.
betting on yourself. We spend that in a weekend,
Mhm.
more than that in a weekend, but now you're spending it on yourself. So I appreciate that you took that time, because I know that even if you don't stay with me after that 2 months, I've already planted that seed that you want more in your wellness. And that to me is still a success. So I always say, give me 8 weeks and let's see, let's change our lives together, because we're in it together. And one last thing about habit stacking, I mean the atomic habits, I'm going to put a little bit more on you, Christy, is, don't you love the part when he talks about the habit protocol? I bring that up a
Mhm.
lot with my ladies, because so many people, the hardest part is to get started. You know,
Mhm.
that it's like our foot is stuck in quicksand and everything. We're going to analyze, we're going to phone a friend, go
Mhm.
smoke signals, look at travel velocity or whatever to see the reviews before we do
Right.
it. It's hard. And then once we actually do it, we're like, yes, we're motivated. But then the messy part comes, right? Life, things happen. But that's where accountability and that's where
Mhm.
community is so important
Yes.
during that messy
Yeah.
time of habit change, right? So when you have somebody
I think it combined. I was able to get it done because I combined it with Mel Robbins' book, The 5 Second Rule. And
yes,
so 5 seconds, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
get
get
back
up
at
and
it.
do it. Just do it. And I use that when it's time to get out of bed. It's like, just get up and do it. You got 5 seconds to make a decision. Do it.
See, but then you
Push
notice,
the
Chris,
button. Huh?
and I said, but did you notice once you got through that messy part of getting used to that habit, it turns into magic. So there's that
Mhm.
Right.
hard messy magic in the habit protocol. And I always say to people, we are gonna get through. I'm so grateful that you got started. Yes, that was the hard part. And don't worry, we got each other for that messy part, because it's
Right.
gonna get messy. It's
Right.
life. But the magic behind it is beauty. The butterfly. If you see, everything that I do is butterfly. Butterfly here. Butterfly. The only person that needs to believe in you is you. I have
Right.
my
Yes.
being there, butterflies everywhere, and it's very important because we're always. That's Sophia Bush, and I'll leave you all with this: is we are all masterpieces and a work in progress simultaneously, and that is exactly what life is about. When you reach that mountaintop, there's another top to reach. Until we meet our creator, life is all about expansion, beauty, and growth. But we need to be receptive of it and
Yeah.
walk with kindness and love. And the kindness and love that we need to walk with first needs to start with the kindness and love you have for yourself. So
Mhm.
put yourself first. It's selfless, and you'll see how much more in love with everything else around you will be, and that confidence.
Yes.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody can tell me about my now my stretch marks are my tiger marks. That's my tiger marks. That's my strength, baby. That's what I always
Yes.
tell people, now, right? Because I have that confidence. Ain't nobody can tell me anything about me. I love me. And I
Right.
think
I love it. Like this is giving me, I know it's Friday, but now it feels like my Monday because I'm like, I'm ready to take on and take over the world. I
thank you.
can't
Also.
wait to jump off here. I like the rest and this is so true. I really not dreaded, but I have a lot of things on my plate today. And I was like, whoo, what a way to end the week. But thank God, because God gives you just what you need. I needed this conversation to be able to get whatever all the rest of the things off of my to-do list done. So I appreciate it. Like this was super dope. Thank you so much. Tell us again where we can find you. And then also, I know this episode won't be out while your promotion is going on, but we do want to share that with us so we can just go ahead and promote that to our community. But let us know again where to find you, and we can just roll out. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So you can find me online on my website at wegotThisWellness.com. That's my website. But I'm all over social media on Instagram at We Got This Mind and Body. We Got
Okay.
This Mind and Body. You can find me everywhere. And yes, this amazing community. It is even without the promotion, it is an inexpensive for what we're all getting. Simple habits, big results. We do it together. We have each other, and most importantly, we are taking that time out for ourselves, which is such a mandatory. It's a must as we progress in this beautiful thing called life, because we
Yeah.
are worth it. God wants us to continue to step in our greatness and our excellence, and we need to do the work so that whatever we ask, it's given, right?
Hmm.
Ask and it's given, it will always be received. But in order for it to really be received in the abundance that is destined for you to have, you got to do the work. And you got to know that there's going to have highs and lows, but that's life. And that is God saying that you
That
got
is right.
this. I'll never give you more than you can bear, but I'm going to give you that adversity because I need you to strengthen that soul from that human side. That's
Hmm.
what it is. So I always tell people, failure is not a failure, it's a lesson. Take
Yeah.
those lessons and you run with it. You learn and know that you're still going to have those lessons in place, but you're going to be better equipped the next time it comes into place.
Yes,
You got
absolutely.
this. You really got this.
I love it.
Well,
Thank you.
until next time, you made a lot of points. Now all of us need to fill in the blank and period. Make it happen. Get the habits done, stack the habits, get your wellness as a top priority, and fill in the blank on how you're going to make that happen so that you can be here around when we're 20 years into this podcast.
That's
Thanks.
That's right. Exactly. Feeling great. Right. The last one thing is please everyone, whenever we're thinking about wellness or we're thinking about stuff of ourselves that we need to make any kind of changes, before you make that change, sit with yourself in silence and really get into the feeling of what that change is going to feel like for you.
Oh, yeah.
Get into the feeling. Because when we get into the feeling of the desire that we want, we are
Yes.
going to more likely do it because we
Right.
want that feeling. That feeling becomes an addiction. But if we don't take note of the feeling or the desire, that's what manifestation and visualizing is supposed to be about. You visualize it to get into the feeling. And then when you get into those feelings, your mind, your body, your soul, your universe is going to give you the strategic plan that you didn't even know you had come
Mhm.
into form, whether it be in a new opportunity, such as my wellness community. I know you all need to come on in,
Yes.
or it be in business opportunity. Opportunities are going to start coming to you because your eyes are going to be open even more because you're in that feeling of that future self. So
Hmm.
that's all I want to say is make sure everything that you do it with that feeling. That is your GPS and that is your greatest love, because nobody else, 8 billion people in this entire world, and nobody will ever have the same thoughts as you, the same feelings, the same emotions. So cherish it, love it, and own it.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you again, Camille. We look forward to having you back. You definitely have to come back and be, have another conversation. And again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you are liking this particular episode. Make sure you're subscribing to us. Just making sure we're in community. Okay, so let us.
Community.
Yes. Oh, wait. What is it? What is it
Common
again?
unity.
Common unity. Yes, I love it. I love it. All right. So the next time, you have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.